welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you doing this week?
I am busy this week, Jeff. We are coming off of a hurricane. We are going into a hurricane. And it has been a monster news day for Disney.
Well, of course, smashed between two hurricanes, we have to talk about Disney Cruise Line. It's only appropriate.
You know, the good news is its inaugural sailing will not be in hurricane season.
That's fair. That's fair. So we're recording this on Tuesday. And as you said, it was a very big news day for Disney. We learned all about the new ship, the Treasure.
We did. And I'm going to be very upfront with people because we get asked this often. If you follow Disney Parks blog or any other social media, you probably had an opportunity to view the exact same thing that I viewed this morning. And I don't want you all to think that I'm just going to tell you what I saw and the same thing you saw. I then spent another hour and a half in additional training on the ship. So it answered a lot of the questions that I left that presentation with. It was super cute. I enjoyed the presentation. I felt like I was out at sea for a little bit, but it definitely left me with questions. And I think I have the majority of the answers now.
Okay. Well, it is our 6th ship to the fleet, correct?
It is. And one of the unique things that you may have noticed with Disney, and I've talked about this before, is they build what we call sister ships. So the Magic and the Wonder have the same body. They divide out the same, but they have some different theming in the restaurants and in the staterooms and the lounges. Dream and the Fantasy, sister ships. Again, same body, same layout of things, but some different theming. And now we have the Wish and the Treasure, our sister ships. So a lot of things about the Treasure are going to be very familiar to you and to me. There's going to be some tweaks to some of the things we know. And then there's going to be a lot of theme changes. But one of the things that's going to inspire some of the changes I'm going to talk about tonight is that the Wish has been doing 3 and 4 night sailings, kind of like the Dream. And the Treasure will be doing 7 night sailings like the Fantasy. So when you've got 7 nights to entertain people, you need to up your game because you can't keep rotating through the same things. So we'll talk about some of those things that are staying the same, but with some great additions to them.
Anytime we go through a new ship, a new experience, anything like that, I just kind of pepper you with questions. I know you got to see a whole lot of it today. Let's start with the main thing that draws everybody's attention when you first get on the ship. Let's start with the lobby.
And it's going to follow that Wish theme, which I really like, that bigger lobby, the 3-story atrium, a lot of space so that when a deck party comes inside, there's room. When they do that kiss goodnight, there's room. But again, they want every ship to be unique. So the first thing people are always looking for is who's the statue in the lobby. And on this ship, it is Jasmine and Aladdin on the carpet with the genie lamp right nearby. I'm going to say for all of you, and definitely for me, you need to go in with an open mind on this ship because there's a lot of similarities. But one of the things that struck me all throughout the presentation is the change in color palette. In some places, like the atrium, it is a much darker color palette than we're used to. They talked a lot about the Gilded Era, but it is beautifully done. The detail in the artist rendering, if they can bring it to life half as well as what we saw in the pictures, it's going to be an ooh and ah moment in that lobby for sure. Plenty of great spaces to stand to take it all in when they're doing events.
Let's go to the pools because that's always really that's the next thing most people ask about whenever you're talking about these types of ships. You always want to know about the lobby and then you segue right to the pools. What do we have?
We don't have a lot to report that's new. Again, this was designed the same way. You're going to find all of the new water features that we covered on the Wish. So if you haven't sailed the Wish yet, I am going to drop a link into the show notes so you can hear some of those things. There's no sense in repeating all of them. but they're going to have that incredible Vanishing Edge pool off the back that's in the adults only area, the Toy Story splash zone, all of the smaller pools on that main pool deck. They will have an Aqua Mouse, and it's going to have a different show. And again, the show is going to match that overall theme of the ship. So it's called Set Course for the Golden Age. Again, we see some darker colors in there, a little bit less lively on the music, but definitely worth the ride.
Well, and for folks that are familiar with the pools that you said existed in the sister ship, they're retained. So it's the type of thing that if you're familiar with, you're not going to be missing anything on this particular ship.
You are definitely not going to be missing anything. And kind of in line with talking about pools is always my favorite spot to be on the ship. It's the spa. They do have the jacuzzis that we got accustomed to. Again, with that sister ship, it is the largest spa on the 6 ships. The Wish and the Treasure have that larger spa that includes the outdoor sitting area, as well as those heavily heated lounge chairs. If I could sneak one in my suitcase, it would live in my living room.
Yes, we're aware that those are things that you definitely hold on to tightly. Let's segue to dining. As we've said every time we've done these Disney Cruise Line shows, we know there's rotational dining within all the Disney Cruise Line ships, within the whole fleet. Talk to us about the dining experiences here on the Treasure.
I'd love to. So yes, we have that typical 3 dining room rotation. And as I alluded to earlier, when you're doing a 7-night, that means you're going to get every dining room twice and 1 dining room 3 times. So the World of Marvel is going to be just like the World of Marvel that we have here. They have put a teaser out. Again, we have probably 80% of the information on this ship. They're holding tight to the other 20%. Whether they're holding tight to it or it's still in concept, we'll never know. Mm-hmm. But there will be a second and different show on that second World of Marvel night. So we'll see how they really incorporate that. You know, we know we've got those quantum communicators that are still going to be in play. That is definitely a fun night. So now you'll get that twice.
Okay, cool.
The 1923 restaurant that has all that great animation in it, it's going to be there again. You're going to get that twice. One thing they didn't discuss, and I won't promise this, but I kind of froze my screens to take a look. It appears, I hope, that they have moved the entrance to 1923. I'm guessing it's now going to be off the side hallway to eliminate that lobby congestion while people are lining up to go to dinner and other people are trying to meet characters and do special themed photos. So I think we may see it just lay out minutely different.
Okay.
But the big change in the rotational dining is there will be no World of Arendelle here. It is being replaced with Plaza de Coco.
Oh, okay.
So again, bringing in that other intellectual property. There will be 2 shows. It's going to have that same stage in the middle like we have in Arendelle. We got a preview of one show, which is going to be a really great looking mariachi show. And again, while you're looking at the dining room, obviously a lot of elements, if you're a fan of that movie, in the decor, but it also reminded me back on our days in the Magic, a bit of karaoke's. So you'll see a lot of those similarities. It's got, you know, that lighter wood. It's near the back of the ship, and we'll have a little bit of fun with that one as well. So again, every dining room twice, one of them 3 times. Which brings us to a great segue about the adult exclusive dining. Palo, Enchante, and the Rose Bar are all going to be the same, but it's going to take a little bit more creativity, finagling once on board, because this ship will have more dinners with show elements than any other. So a lot of people don't like first night or last night in Palo. They want to go to their regular assigned dining room. One of those is probably going to be one of your show nights, but then you've got 4 show nights. So I think we're going to see a lot more people trying to change up their Palo or Enchante date once on board. But again, phenomenal dining. And maybe if you miss it this time, you'll have to go again.
There's a couple of other things too, like coffee and lounges and things like that. Do you want to talk about some of those?
I do. So they've got, just like they did on the Wish, my new catchphrase, clearly, they divided up the coffee house. It's not just Cove Cafe. There's lots of coffee spots, but I think they got a little bit more into the detail of them. And for this one, we actually go to my brother's favorite character. I text him in the middle of the presentation and said, your boy has street cred today. For those of you who are Moana fans, the Hey Hey Cafe is coming on this ship. So that's a lot of fun. I personally am looking forward to the Skipper Society Bar. They talked a little bit about it, and it kind of had that Adventurers Club feeling from the old downtown Disney days. For example, it's a combination of Adventurers Club and Jungle Cruise Skippers. So if you look over there at the bar, it may look like sandstone. You might take that for granted. It's a boulder feature.
Oh, I see what you did there. That's nice.
They also replaced one of the lounges with what is now going to be known as Periscope Pub. Great spot. Check out any sports that are playing, grab a beer. And the unique thing about this, as its name implies, it has a periscope that you can take up to the bridge that goes right up for viewing in the bridge, which I thought is really neat.
Okay.
One of the other things that I was so in love with on the Wish was the La Luna, where they did a lot of during the day, the family activities, and at night, it became an adults only area. It was the bingo area. La Luna is my absolute favorite Pixar short. It is now gone.
Oh.
But if it had to be replaced, that nice 2-story lounge area, again, if you played bingo in there, you kind of sat up top and looked down on the stage. And it's being replaced with Sarabi. And they did a phenomenal job on the decor in here. There's a lot of touches of the Lion King on this ship, and this is clearly one of them.
Sure.
And again, those of you who've been listening know that my family is huge Lion King fans, so I loved seeing all of those touches. The Hero Zone will remain just as we saw it last time. The Broadway-style theater, the Walt Disney Theater, has new decor, but same layout. It will have 2 of the shows that we've seen before, the Beauty and the Beast stage show and the Sea is the Adventure. We have been told there is at least 1 new stage show coming, but they're keeping its theme under wraps for now.
Okay.
Obviously, when we talk entertainment, you can't be on a Disney cruise and talk about entertainment without talking about the kids' clubs.
Yeah, definitely huge thing to talk about.
And when they've always, on any of the ships, the kids' clubs are phenomenal.
Right.
But when they designed the Wish, they really kind of upped the game. They divided it into many more segments. So you've got a Marvel Academy, you've got a Star Wars section, you've got that incredible Disney Imagineering Lab, you've got Fairy Tale Hall, all of those great things for our 3 to 12-year-olds. They all exist just like we saw in the Wish. We still have the phenomenal nursery, Edge, Vibe, all of those places for teens and tweens. So lots of exciting places. One of the other new places that I should have covered a minute ago and didn't when we talk about dining and entertainment would be a change from the Wish is Jumbo Suites, which on the Wish is Inside Out themed.
Okay.
Here, a very, I think, an underplayed movie that we don't see as often as we would like to. On this ship, it will be Zootopia themed.
Oh, so, love it.
If you are a Judy Hopps fan, Judy's on duty.
Nice.
Definitely upping the game. And, you know, one of the things that really struck me, if you've kind of pieced together all these different things I'm saying, I'm talking about Beauty and the Beast, Moana, Lion King, Zootopia. I'm talking about, as Jeff always likes to point out, so much different intellectual property.
Right.
And so many theme park experiences. We talk about the Skippers and that Periscope pub after 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. They really brought a lot of different elements into this ship. We see a lot of that IP, and I really hesitated for a minute, and I tried to think about how is it going to flow? Is it too much IP and too many different bits of IP? But Disney does such an amazing job, even if you think about walking in the theme parks, how they change the walkway and they subtly change the music. And you really don't notice that the theme has changed until you've exited and you're fully immersed. And so we see some of that on the Wish as well. And I think they'll do an incredible job again.
Let's segue over to the staterooms. Every time we do some of these shows, this becomes kind of a lengthy discussion. I don't know that it's going to need to be tonight because some of the things might be similar, but talk to us a little bit about the staterooms that they have to offer on this ship.
So I'm going to ask any Disney cast that's listening to close their ears so I don't get myself in trouble for
Sure. No
my
problem.
next comment.
Yeah.
I love the change that they made in the staterooms here.
Okay. Why?
So on the Wish, what we had is all these different themes in every category. Every category had at least 2 different themes. So you might have an outside room that could be Frozen themed or it could be Cinderella themed. And it wasn't marked on any of the Disney things. We had some resources to kind of figure it out. But with so many different themes on the, I'll call them the standard staterooms, it was tough. People were saying, you know, I want that 9B, but only if it's Frozen themed. I want the 9B, but it can't be Frozen themed. I have to have a Moana room. Well, the Moana room is only a suite. Oh, well, I can't spend for that. Can't you get me a Moana room that's a balcony room? No, I can't remodel it for you.
What a shame.
So all of our standard rooms, and by standard, I mean non-concierge, are all going to be Aladdin themed.
Okay.
The artwork that we previewed looks amazing. I will say I'm kind of trying to reserve judgment till I see it in person. There's a definite sleek feeling to these rooms. They are very, very beige. Light beige furniture, including night tables and the big long dresser and the cabinet. The blanket that goes on the end of the bed with the Disney Treasure logo is beige. There's a lot of beige, which again, I'll use that word sleek again, gave it this really cool, sleek look. Might have been a little too adult level for me, but again, that piece of art above the bed and above the couch that brought me into Agrabah obviously screamed Disney.
Sure.
We'll take it. It's beautiful.
Okay.
They have found 2 additional staterooms for the Treasure that don't exist on the Wish. So the Wish has 1,244. The Treasure had 1,246. Both of those additional staterooms are standard inside rooms.
Okay.
One of the things, again, that we will not see on the Treasure is the deluxe inside room. So the original 4 ships have that deluxe inside, where the Wish and the Treasure only have the standard inside. And for those that don't know, one of the things that I love sailing Disney Cruise Lines about their staterooms is this deluxe concept. The deluxe means you get a split bathroom. One room that has a sink and a toilet, and a second room that has a sink and a shower tub combo. It makes it very easy getting ready in the morning, even when it's just my daughter and I traveling. We each kind of spread out in the bathroom and have our stuff by the mirror, and it makes it nice. But that's what makes something deluxe. So those inside rooms will only have a standard bathroom, 1 door, 1 sink, 1 toilet, 1 shower tub combination.
Okay.
The other big change that we saw here is in the suites that are all in the concierge area. So the first major change, and it's even a change in name, what was called the Tower Funnel Suite is now the Tomorrow Tower Suite. Say that one 10 times fast.
Yeah, right.
It is themed after Epcot. It is gorgeous inside. Everything from the chandelier patterns and all of the wallpaper and everything, just amazing. My one hesitation with that suite is it doesn't have a balcony. And I love sitting on a balcony when I'm sailing. So I don't know if I was paying for a 2,000 square foot, 2-story suite that I want to leave my suite to go sit out on deck. But I will tell you that it's booked solid on the Wish, so I'm sure it'll be booked solid on the Treasure. The other suites have a variety of themes as well. They're after Jungle Book, after Aladdin. They've kind of captured the tigers, Rajas in there as well. Then they have Nemo themes and Lion King. So everything from the family suite with balcony to the unique family outside rooms right along the front of the ship, that all glass without balcony, all with those extra concierge touches, including the concierge rooms. Just to give people an idea, almost 80% of the ship has a balcony.
Wow. Except for that one suite that you want. That doesn't have the balcony.
Suite.
But, everything else does.
There's lots of good stuff. But if you're in that 20%, there is plenty of outdoor deck space. If you are in concierge, they actually have their own outdoor pool space and outdoor deck space for you to enjoy.
Well, that sounds lovely. Let's discuss when you can book, when you can go, when's the inaugural sailing, all these things that, now that we know the nuts and bolts of the ship, quite literally, give us that information.
I'll lead with that inaugural date, and maybe you should start planning now to put it under your Christmas tree this year for next year.
Okay.
The inaugural sailing, and again, the Treasure is going to be doing 7-night sailings out of Port Canaveral, Eastern Western Caribbean, December 21st to the 28th, 2024. So what a way to celebrate Christmas on the official maiden voyage of the Treasure.
Okay. And when does booking open?
It begins September 12th for those new Pearl Castaway Club members and goes all the way through September 20th for our first-time cruisers. We're, again, recording just as this came out, a week before you'll be able to book. And unless my memory serves me incorrectly, this is the first time this far out that we can actually see pricing. So those of you who are thinking about it and getting ready to plan, we can't give you an exact price, but we can tell you for any of the dates that you're looking at, inside rooms start at this amount, outside start at this amount, veranda at this, and concierge at that, based on your party size. So we may not be able to figure out that, oversized balcony room, but we can tell you where the balconies are starting. And I'm going to be honest with you, we have 22 sailings that we have prices for. There is a huge range. And so I've talked about this over and over for those that have some flexibility. Inside rooms on the least expensive date for a party of two, we're looking at under $4,000. And then we go all the way up to the inaugural. And that maiden voyage is going to be amazing. There are going to be some typical inaugural things. It's actually one of the few times that we can use the word free, several times with Disney.
Sure.
Though I like to switch it to included.
I think that's probably a better term.
There will be some inaugural gifting, but inaugural cruises are always more expensive. Christmas cruises are always more expensive.
So we're 2 for 2.
And remember that Disney Cruise Line uses dynamic pricing. So that means that the person who books a specific category first is always going to pay less than the person that books that same specific category last.
Right.
As they go up, the price goes up. The more the demand, the higher the price. That inaugural sailing for a party of 2, including taxes, fees, and port expenses, not including
sure.
vacation protection or transfers.
Right.
You could speed it up there.
Yeah.
Starts at $87.75 for an inside.
Yikes.
So we're looking at double versus a week in February.
Yeah.
Ocean view rooms start a little over $9,400. Veranda rooms a little over $11,000, and the starting price for that outside concierge, so our least expensive, again for a party of 2, begins at $25,000.
Yeah. So significant. A significant
those of you that
price,
have flexibility, talk to us. Be honest about it. We're happy to say to you, listen, if you don't need to be on the maiden voyage, here's the best price date. As of today, whatever day it is you're booking, even if it's 6 months from now, those that have flexibility, sometimes a week sooner or a week later can be $500, $1,000, or $2,000. I will also say, here's the tough thing about the maiden voyage. There are no discounts allowed. So those of you holding that onboard booking with a 10% discount, hoping to use it for the maiden voyage, it is excluded. The maiden voyage, whatever day you book it, you have until 11:59 that evening to make your deposit. Unlike every other cruise, once you make your deposit is non-refundable. So it is a big commitment. Definitely be sure of where you want to go. Even with insurance, they are not doing changes. So if you're booking the maiden voyage / inaugural, I can't recommend insurance enough, because again, those deposits, you're looking at losing anywhere from $1,600 to about $8,000 in a deposit.
Yeah.
So
very significant.
And that insurance, whether you're buying it through Disney or privately, because the money becomes non-refundable that evening, most insurance policies will require that you buy it that exact day or you're not covered. Hopefully you want to work with my team and I, gain that expertise, gain the shipboard credit. But if you are set on booking on your own or with somebody else, make sure you really understand how different that inaugural sailing is going to be.
Well, we're coming to the end of the program, and we know we went a little bit long today because we just got all this information today. We thought it was important to get as much of it as possible out to all of you as we could. What have we missed today? What else should folks know about this particular ship?
So some people are going to think this is silly, and some people are going to think this is super important. And I didn't have time to do all my research behind this today. But they made a point of telling us that they will be using H2O Plus products on board. And last year we heard H2O was permanently using and we wouldn't see H2O products anymore. So for those that were wondering what the replacement is going to be, it's still going to be on board. You'll get your shampoo and your conditioner that you're used to.
That's great.
The second thing to know about the Treasure, which is a little tough for me, but Treasure is the new ship. And what I would have hoped went along with the new ship does not. And that is a stop at the new island. So the Treasure, as I said, will do Eastern and Western Caribbean, and it will continue to call on Castaway Cay. If you are looking to go to the brand new Lighthouse Point, you'll be looking at sailing on a different ship. So not a real hardship. You might have to take 2 cruises to do it all.
Sounds rough. I think you could be able to swing that for us, Sandy. At some point, I think you're going to have to take that one for the team and make that happen.
I do promise that I will be on one of the first 2 sailings to Lighthouse Point to bring you coverage. And I am really hoping to cross one off of my bucket list 13 months from now. I am hoping to bring you coverage of the float out of the Treasure in Papenburg, Germany.
Well, you and I have talked about that for years at this point, so I do hope it happens for you. Thank you for taking the time all day, and thank you for making time for us tonight to explain this to all of our listeners. Have a great week.
Thanks, you as well.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk Diz. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share on your Facebook and Instagram for other Disney fans to enjoy. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination planning. Make it a great week, and as always, keep making memories.